Well, Cardinal Donald Wuerl has resigned as the Archbishop of Washington. The Catholic leader had come under fire in recent months amid evidence that he was involved in covering up sex abuse in the church. Mola Lenghi reports from Washington.
Cardinal Donald Wuerl's 50-year career in the Catholic Church came to an end today with a letter from Pope Francis. In it, the Pope accepted Wuerl's resignation, but said there were sufficient elements for Wuerl to have resisted stepping down, saying there's a difference between covering up crimes and simply making a mistake. This summer, Wuerl became entangled in two major sexual abuse and cover-up scandals. His name appears over 200 times in a Pennsylvania grand jury report accusing him of protecting some child-molesting priests when he was Bishop of Pittsburgh. And in July, his predecessor in Washington, Theodore McCarrick, stepped down over abuse charges. Wuerl spoke with CBS's Nikki Battiste in August.
Did you ever move priests quietly to another?
That wasn't our process.
Paul Dorsch says he met with Wuerl in 1997 to report abuse he suffered when he was 13 years old.
He was very, very standoffish. I had a letter that I wanted him to read. He would not read it. He would not open it. He would not touch it.
Pope Francis called Cardinal Wuerl's decision to step down noble. The Pope also asked Wuerl to stay on in an administrative role until a new Archbishop of Washington can be named. Outside St. Matthew's Cathedral in Washington, parishioners say this is a step in the right direction.
Pray for the healing of those who have been hurt and pray for the healing of those who caused the harm.
In a letter to parishioners, Wuerl apologized for his failures and asked for forgiveness from victims and healing for those wounded at the hands of church ministers. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, Washington.
For more, we're joined by Candida Moss. She's the Cadbury Professor of Theology at the University of Birmingham in the United Kingdom. Candida, I just can't, this story just takes on a bigger life of itself every time we talk about this. Take us back, though. Exactly what is significant about this moment right now?
Well, you'll recall that back in August, Cardinal Wuerl was named in the devastating Pennsylvania grand jury report, and his name was included 200 times. Back then, he was accused of having participated in the cover-up of the abuse of children in Pittsburgh. Now, he denied this, and he said that he may have made mistakes, but that there were no formal guidelines for how he should be behaving because he was bishop there from 1988 to the mid-2000s. He also has been accused of knowing about the abuse by Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, and that seems credible. He was named in Vigano's letter, and in a 2005 settlement, he was against McCarrick. He was named in that as well. So what's happening now? He's offered his resignation to the Pope, and Francis has accepted it. What Francis said, though, was that he was proud of Cardinal Wuerl.
Yeah, what was that about? I want to read you actually what he said. He wrote, "You have sufficient elements to justify your actions and distinguishing between what it means to cover up crime or not deal with problems and to commit some mistakes. However," this is what I just don't understand. "However, your nobility has led you not to choose this way of defense of this. I am proud and thank you."
So what Pope Francis is saying is that Cardinal Wuerl could have defended himself. He could have said, I was following the advice of psychiatrists and I had no guidelines and I was doing my best. He chose not to do that. He chose to step down for the good of the church because at this point there's been so much conversation about Wuerl and so many calls for his resignation that he's choosing to remove himself and all of the baggage that he brings from the church and from this particular position. And Francis is almost sort of slightly resentfully accepting this resignation and commending Wuerl for this action. And you have to ask, is this going to backfire for Francis? Because really what he needed to say is this is an important step. This is our move towards transparency, that even someone